This happened to me when I was 10. I was sleeping in my room. Suddenly, the entire house started to shake with a huge crash, just like an earthquake. I was awakened with panic. I was trembling with fear, thinking that was an earthquake. At that moment, I heard my dad scream in his room. I ran to his room right away and saw a mysterious being standing in front of him. It was as enormous as it was about to break through the ceiling, and my dad was absolutely overwhelmed with that horrible ambience. The horrifying creature talked.
"In 5 years, you will be dragged to hell."
My dad cried and begged desperately on his knees. "No! Please, I beg you, I have a little boy!" The being blustered in a threatening voice.
"You committed the unforgivable sin. You will burn in hell."
Then it disappeared. My dad collapsed to the floor, devastated. Next day he looked so grim and nervous. I was also frightened, but I didn't talk about what happened last night. After several days, we went back to our normal routines, as if we completely forgot about that day. Time passed away in an instant. And exactly 5 years later from that day, my dad vanished. The police handled it as a missing person case. They tried to track all his records and follow up on clues, but couldn't find anything. It has already been 2 years since his disappearance. His whereabouts still unknown. In the CCTV records, the police saw my dad leaving work by driving away in his car from the parking lot of the company building. Then, his car was found in a distant alley. Only his clothes remained in the driver's seat, as if somebody took his body away. My dad disappeared, and nobody could find him. I had prayed to God every single day since then, to find my dad. I swore I would do anything if I could see him at least once. Even if he couldn't come back to me just once, I would be fine. I prayed over and over, asking if he was still alive and where he was. Every night I prayed and cried myself to sleep. And last night I had a dream. That mysterious being showed up again, and this time in front of me. It was the exact same one I saw years ago. He said to me,
"Come with me, if you want to see where your father is."
He took my hand and brought me outside. Immediately after stepping outside, the environment completely changed. It was hell, with boiling lava and sharp penetrating screams of millions of people. It was too hot, and I felt my body was burning in the fire. Because of ear-splitting cries and screams, I couldn't step forward anymore. And there, I saw my dad standing in the middle of hell. He stared at me with wide open eyes, not saying a word. Right in the middle of chaos full of endless pain, he gazed at me with eyes filled with pain and agony. I wailed, calling him, but no matter how loud I shouted, he didn't answer. He was just gazing at me, suffering in enormous pain. The mysterious being standing next to me said,
"Your father killed an innocent person 2 years before you were born. That is the reason why he is here with me, in hell."
I couldn't believe that. I started to run to my dad, but at that moment I awoke from my sleep. I was awake, but I still felt the sizzling heat all over my body, and its pain. After that dream, I didn't look for him anymore, and I didn't pray anymore. I think it might just be a silly dream, but I can't forget that heat, those horrifying screams, and my dad's eyes, because all of it seemed so real. I don't know why, but I feel like my dad is in hell.